For the past 6 decades, he has left audiences enamored and puzzled with his mentalist mastery, and we're sensing that he's thrilled to be here today on CT Style. The Amazing Kreskin. Welcome here to CT Style.
Great to see you there. Good to see you. How's everybody there? Really good. You know, I got to tell you, if you saw the movie, the great book Howard, which came out a few years ago that Tom Hanks produced, of course, if you saw it, John Malkovich played me, and he studied. He studied Tom Hanks, and he said, watch days and days of videos of my appearances to get my mannerisms down. He says, I'll tell you the good side and the bad side of making the movie. And I looked at Hanks, and this is like opening night in New York. I said, he says, the good side is that he really mastered, you know, the way you move and your mannerisms. I said, well, what was bad? He says, Kreskin, listen to me. I said, yeah, Tom. He says, 3 days in a row, he shook hands with 30 people every day the way you shake hands.
That's kind of right. He had a dislocated shoulder or something.
So
after
in the movie, Regis says that my handshake is the dream of every chiropractor on the face of the earth.
That's funny.
Well, were you pleased the way it turned out?
Yes, it was written by a road manager of mine, Sean McKinley, and the love story is not I'm not that mean. You know, they had to make it a story. They said, but everything you saw on stage happened in all the years he performed for me. And it was I'll tell you, I've never met a more, in this business, like politics, not everybody is the way they appear on camera. And I don't mean here because these are nice folks here, but Tom Hanks has the kind of personality that Regis has. He's a very genuine, warm person, I want to tell you. So it was great doing the movie, and I'm going to be in another motion picture in about 2 months coming out. You got the picture then.
And there it is. There's you and Tommy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But you know, the one thing that has been a feature of my life. In fact, I'm touring Connecticut and Massachusetts these next few days. But on all my shows, I take my check, my
and you hide it somewhere, right?
And I hand it to a committee from the audience. And then another committee takes me out of the theater where I cannot see or hear what's going on. And while I'm out of the theater, they take my check and hide it anywhere within the auditorium, anywhere. Carnegie Hall, it's 4 balconies, Minnesota State Fair, it was 18,000 people outdoors. It can be in private companies. It can be in a home. And then I come back in. And when I return, I don't ask any questions. No one is to speak to me. The committee just concentrates. And if I don't find my fee, I forfeit it. It goes back to the company that books me, and the show is for free.
Has that ever happened?
I have missed it 9 times out of 6,000 times.
Jeez, that's a pretty good record,
ratio, huh?
They were very, very unforgettable incidents I cannot erase in my life. One was in New Zealand at a Coliseum, and there was a press conference the next day outside the theater. They said, there was over 100 reporters. They say, Kreskin, we're broadcasting this live. This is a story. It's because the night before, when I lost my fee, I lost in one night $51,000.
No way.
So, and yet at the colleges, I've done over 1,000 universities, University of Illinois, I come back in the gymnasium. I go up to this distinguished elderly man.
And you went like this?
Well, no, I went like that. That's the way I went. But I went to this distinguished elderly man. I said, would you stand? I said, this is embarrassing. Open your mouth. And there was no check. I'm going to tell you something. I felt like a damn fool. I walked down the gym with these thousands of people, and something made me come back to it. And I said, if I embarrass you, just sit down. Would you open your mouth again? Does this have to do with the roof of your mouth? He reached in his mouth, took out his upper plates, and handed me my check.
What?
Wow.
It was inside of his mouth.
They had put it in the upper plates inside his mouth. That one college, I went through a theater and got to a man and said something about a gun. I thought, I'm not into guns. I mean, I realize it's big money today, and there's a great joy in killing and what have you, but that's not my lifestyle. But at the same time, I said something about a gun, and when I opened the man's jacket, it was a plainclothesman. I will never do this normally. I reached into his shoulder holster, took out the gun, and turned the barrel, and they had stuffed the check down the barrel.
Kidding.
So you can imagine how this, all over the world, I've done this.
So, Kreskin, how did you get this skill? How did you realize you were talented like this?
Well, 9 years old, very, very quickly, 3rd grade, the teacher said, listen, we're not going out to play, it's raining out, I'll teach you a game. and she had Jane Hamilton leave the classroom, and we hit a beanbag in one of the desks, and she said, Jane, when you walk around, if you're getting close, we'll say you're hot. If you're not close, cold, hot and cold.
Cold game.
And I wanted to play
All
that.
the time.
I wanted to play it, but they didn't play. They didn't pick me, so I went home. My brother and I had him hide a penny in my grandmother's house. And it was an old-fashioned house. They were from Italy, and I walked through the house into my uncle's bedroom and reached behind a curtain rod and found the penny, and I then realized I forgot to tell him to talk to me. No one spoke to me. That was the beginning in my career.
Wow.
So, you know, my life's like an adventure.
It is. We have quite the history, and I believe you're going to be demonstrating something
Oh,
here
you want
today on the
an
show.
experiment?
Yeah, let's see something.
I got to tell you this. Now, you folks have no idea. You know, they wouldn't have me on if they knew what I was going to do. No, I'm only kidding you. And incidentally, this fella here, producers here, folks, if I read his thoughts on camera, we're in trouble. I'm only joking. I'm joking. I went to a man real quick, and you didn't even look at the cards, did you?
Stan, right?
Stan, is it Stan? I just said, hand me something, and as you folks saw, I put it in my pocket. You have no idea what I'm going to do.
No, I don't. Certainly
I'm going to ask you to close your eyes right now, and don't. This is not a card trick. This is something I've done all over the world. Keep your eyes closed, and let me show you. Just don't say what I'm doing.
Okay.
You can all see at home if we get a close up. The color factor of, I don't know which camera. The camera's close right over here.
Yeah, right over here.
Right here. I'm looking at the monitor to see how this looks.
Can I open my eyes?
Not yet, Teresa. Keep them closed.
I don't see the close-up is over here.
Right there. There it is.
All
there
right,
it is.
folks, you see a color factor here. Now, the reason I'm saying this, keep your eyes closed now,
Okay.
is this gentleman gave me something before. Don't see it. And look, folks, her eyes are closed. If we have a close-up now, you can see what I've just done. And I'm not showing this to any of you here. No one knows this. You folks looking in, you can open your eyes now.
Okay.
You folks looking in, you might try this. You might try this. I'm going to hold, you can open your eyes. You can see that this is a regular pack of playing cards, and they're all mixed up. I'm going to hold, I want you to look not at me, but at the camera, which is going to be, you're going to see exactly what the viewers see. Which camera am I going to hold this closer? Can we get this closer? Much closer than this so that she can see. No, you have to be able to listen. I can't see the numbers. They said this would give me a real close-up. Can I have a closer? Closer?
We're working on it.
There we are.
There we go.
Now watch.
Okay, I'm watching.
All of you,
I'm watching.
now you watch. As I thumb through these cards, and you folks sitting in the audience as well, look at the camera. You think of one of the cards that you see. I'm not saying anything out loud. I happen to be talking to you mentally. Have you thought of one of those cards?
Yes.
I wonder if you folks at home have as well. Would you tell us? What you don't know is when your eyes were closed, I took something out of my pocket, which a gentleman in the audience picked for me before I started.
Okay.
From another deck of cards. As a matter of fact, I gave him these cards. He handed me one. Tell us for the first time, what's the card you thought of all these cards? Tell us the name of the card.
An ace.
Ace of what?
Hearts.
Look, folks, if we get a close-up here, let's turn to the card she saw. Ace of Hearts. Well, cards may not all be here, but there happens to be no Ace of Hearts on the deck. There's an Ace of Diamonds, and this is not some sleight of hand. You said you saw with your own eyes the Ace of Hearts?
No, I was thinking of the ace.
Oh,
of
I wanted
hearts.
you to see the card. I said what you saw. It had to be something you saw.
Oh, it
had
must
to be
have been
something
the ace of diamonds. It had to be the ace of diamonds then.
All right, folks, I know this. Remember, you heard me say 4 times, I want you to look at it and think of a card you see. All right, let's take the ace out of here and we didn't discuss this at all. Let me hold your hand palm up. The reason why, by the way, I had all of you look is, as I said, I wanted you to think of something you saw. I said that 4 times. I put a blue back card on this deck. You can see by a close-up, this is a red back deck. Am I correct?
Correct.
A red back deck. Would you turn over that card, please, and show what it is?
Wow.
Literally, that's the card you gave me.
Wow.
And it was the card that you saw because it's the one.
Because there was a little bit of...
Yeah, but it shows how the mind can respond. And I would venture to tell you, probably 1/3 of all the viewers got the card. It's just something about. Any of you get it out there? You couldn't see them that close, could you, folks? Huh?
Yeah.
Any of you get it? Raise your hands if you did. Anybody here? Well,
Couple of
that's
them.
all just
Couple
a
of them, right? Well, that was pretty cool.
But it shows you that. So it shows you, by the way, why I can't play poker. I'm banned from all the casinos in the Western world.
Well, that's not good.
And one day in a
Don't go to Mohegan Sun or Foxwoods.
I performed.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right. Hey, Kreskin, we got to rock
good
and
to
roll.
see ya.
You guys, let's give a nice round of
Listen,
applause. The Amazing Kreskin.
She got it. She got the card. Thank God you got it.
All right.